Hey guys, it's Steve again with Roost Refuge, and I got a little surprise today. And sorry, not a surprise for you, a surprise for me. And it was quite emotional actually. It was totally unexpected. I have this beautiful Canna Lily Cleopatra that my neighbor bought for me today, and he's 84 years old, one of the absolute sweetest, kindest people you'll ever meet, and I haven't known him for very long. He hasn't lived next door to me for a terribly long time, but he's unable to work in his garden anymore. He has a few plants and stuff out on his porch, and he sees me out in my yard working all the time, and so we've kind of bonded over our shared love for plants and gardening. And so I'm out watering my plants today, and I get a little, yoo-hoo, come over here for a minute, and I was surprised with this beautiful plant. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, I was nearly in tears. So I put on a brave face and pushed through the conversation, but I was really struggling because it was just such a super sweet and unexpected thing to do, and Lord knows we need more of that in the world. And it was just, I don't know, I was very touched by it. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you guys, and I had a project that I was going to work on a little later, but this plant clearly already has special meaning to me, so I am going to give it a special home. So today I am going to show you how I paint containers. And if you watched any of my other videos, not that there's that many of them out there, I'm always spray painting something, but I rarely take the time to actually show you guys what I'm doing or why I do what I do. I'm usually just in a hurry to get I don't have a lot of patience with some things, and painting is one of those things. I just want it done, so I frequently will rush through the job just to get it, the container covered in paint. Most of my containers are either outside or on my porch, and they were never meant to be, works of art. And so if the paint was runny, it was okay with me. You can't tell unless you got up close to it. But I'm going to take a little bit more care with this one today, clearly because it's going to be housing a very special plant for me. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys before we got started. You can really make someone's day, with simple, kind gestures. I mean, he never had to buy me, this plant, and just the fact that he thought of me while he was out and purchase this plant for me just means the world, and it certainly made my day. So yes, I have to find some way to pay this forward myself to someone else. It doesn't have to be a neighbor, it could be anybody. I'll pay for the person behind me, the drive-through, or there's endless amounts of random acts of kindness that that you can use to brighten someone's day. And considering the state of the world now, guys, we need as much kindness as we can possibly get. So if you have no other takeaway from this video today, do something nice for somebody unexpected. I don't care if it's just a phone call. In this day and time, a smile goes a long way. Holding the door open for someone, just some common courtesies, that are being lost in our culture today, I think are extremely important. So I'm going to move my little friend here, so hopefully the wind does not blow it off. Obviously, a windy day is not the best time to be painting containers, but it feels so good here in South Carolina today. I think we're around 78 degrees. It's probably a little cooler than that here under the shade, but yeah, I just couldn't wait to share this with you guys and to get my container up and going so I can get that potted and put on my porch. So I'm going to move this. I'll be back with you in just a second. Guys, so one other thing, I'm telling you, don't ever have lunch and then turn on the video camera. I will never be able to keep my gut sucked in throughout this whole video today. Jeez. So anyway, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Canna Lily Cleopatra before I forget. I have not grown these before, so I want to make sure I do all the right things. Everything that I've read says these are usually very easy to take care of. Depending on the climate that you live in, these may or may not live through the winter. In South Carolina, they should be fine. Cam, the gentleman who got this for me, has had them for years, and so far, you know, they've all done fine for him. So this particular one, I think these are the medium-sized ones. You get up around 3 or 4 feet tall. I do know they are full sun, which is one of the things I'm a little bit concerned about, because I want to put this on my porch. So I may have to put it in an area that gets the most sun. If not, I'll move it out into the full sun. But I've seen these in some shaded or partially shaded areas, and they've done okay. They do bloom. Most of the resources say late summer, and I think that is if you're planting these fresh from bulbs. The plants are already established, like my friend Cam's. I can see his from here. They've been blooming for a month or two now, and I think they'll bloom pretty much all summer long. He told me that no bloom is exactly alike, and these are known for their randomness, I guess, in bloom types. Yellows and reds, a combination, they can be kind of speckly looking. There's all different colors of cannas out there. But this one in particular, I think those are the colors they're going to stick mostly with. Let's see, what else? A lot of times people will plant these. They will plant multiples of these in one container. Looking at this, I think there are probably already a couple or 3 bulbs in that container. I'm going to plant this just like it is. It gets its own home. I'm not looking to necessarily fill up a big container and make this massive thing. This is a special gift to me, so this one's going to get its own pot all to itself exactly as it is. Let's see, what else? Zone hardiness, yeah, from 2 to 11. I apologize, there's a FedEx truck going by, a rather large one. But as far as overwintering and whatnot, again, it depends on the zone you're in. But here in South Carolina, this will be fine. Outside, plant spacing 1 to 2 feet each. Yeah. So I think that covers it. I didn't just want to tell you I had a Canna Lily Cleopatra and not tell you anything else about it. So now you know what I know, and let's get this container planted. The sooner it gets painted and dried, the sooner I can get it in its home. Okay. All right, guys. So again, here's the container we're going to be painting today. We will be planting this container another day. But I want to tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. If you have never used Rust-Oleum hammered paint, I highly, highly recommend it. It is probably one of my favorite spray paints, and the hammered texture that this leaves behind is absolutely gorgeous. Actually, I wished it come in more colors than it does, but I have used the black, I have used the silver, and I think there is what did I see the other day? I think it was a copper or gold. I can't remember for sure, but I've seen at least 3 different types. Again, the black and the silver is the ones I have used the most. So obviously when you're painting, since I am going to do this as sort of a how-to, or at least how I do it, and other people may have different approaches that may work as good or better than what I do. But, you know, this is my video. I'm going to show you what I do. It's not rocket science by any means. So, when you're choosing your spray paint, make sure you select a type of spray paint that will adhere to the surface of the container that you are painting. This is some type of ceramic, something or other that has already been finished with something. One moment. Sorry, I've got my music turned up. Well, I can't even hear myself think. All right, so the Rust-Oleum Forged Hammer paint is a paint and primer in one. It's any surface, any angle, which is really, really nice. And by any angle, it means, you know, if you want to spray with the can upside down, you can. Don't recommend it, but you can. Woods, plastic, masonry, metal. I have used this on everything I can think of, and I've not had any issues with it at all. So this is what we're going to start off with. Now, make sure that whatever container or object, rather, that you are going to paint has been cleaned. Prior to the video, I did clean this up a little bit. I sprayed it off a couple weeks ago, but I did take a little plastic brush over it and just make sure I got the inside creases as clean as I can. And you know, obviously if you got dust and dirt on there, the paint's not going to adhere to this surface. It'll adhere to the dust and the dirt, and eventually it'll flake off, which is one of the last things that you want. So always shake up your container based upon the instructions that are with it. Okay, I've already been shaking on this a little bit because I know how irritating it can be to be watching a video where the person is doing this number and you can't hear what they're saying. So anyway, so this is shaken, it's ready to go. The secret is never to start directly on the container and always keep moving. I'm going to start over here on this side for just a second. I just want to see how we're doing with the wind. Okay. So I'm going to come over here to this side so hopefully you can see this a little bit better. Again, start the spray outside of the container and let go when you're off on the side. Start again, spray moving across. And you can overlap just slightly and work your way down. Distance to keep from the can to the container is usually about 1 foot to 18 inches. If it's going on too heavy, you're going to start getting runs, and that's usually what I deal with more than anything is the runny paint, because I'm hitting it hard and close and fast just to get it done, and that is the worst thing you can do when you're spray painting. So I'm just going to sweep. One thing I do like about the Rust-Oleum hammered paint, the way it comes out of the nozzle is different than a lot of typical spray paint cans. I don't know what it is, how this thing is set up, what makes it any different, but it seems to have a wider flow, and I have less issues with running with this as well. So you can start with a very light coating. Here comes the wind again. Again, it's best to just do a light first coat. Let that dry a little bit. And then just keep adding on top of it. Spray, the paint's blowing right back on me. Of course, this bright neon yellow, neon green, whatever color shirt probably needs a little toning down anyway. All right. Dare I say, first coat is finished. Guys, it was that easy. And this container is probably about 2.5 feet tall. Yeah. And I can't remember the drying time on this off the top of my head. A lot of these are usually about 10 minutes. This is soaking it up pretty quickly. It was a very light coat, so I'm going to go ahead and add another one. Now, once I get this on and it's dried a little bit, I am going to flip this over and paint from the top down. I always like starting with the bottom first. If I mess up, I'd rather have it done, excuse me, I'd rather have it done on the bottom than the top part, which I want to look as good as possible. Now, I'm never going to be able to show you on this video just what this looks like up close, but really does have this metallic hammered texture to it. Now, this is already a very rough textured container to begin with. If you've got something that is flat and smooth, you can really see this stuff coming out. I have done things like doorknobs, door handles on cabinetry. I've done some outdoor elements. Actually, I'm looking at one right now I totally forgot about. I may bring that over here and let you see that one. I believe that one is black. I do have some tiki torches that I'm going to paint as well. Those I haven't done yet. But yeah, just about anything. I have done a lot of glass bottles. I've taken a lot of different decorative looking glass bottles, just plain glass, and sprayed with this stuff, and they look beautiful. They look like a metal vases. Yeah, so anyway, like I said, I wasn't kidding when I said I've tried this on just about everything. Hold one moment. So I will show you this guy. So this is a little wind chime, metal wind chime. 7 years ago, I painted this with the black hammered paint, and it's actually, I know you can't see that from here, it's held up pretty well for the most part. This is outside. There's a couple little places back here that's starting to show a little wear, and so it holds up to the elements very well. Actually, while I've got this out here, I might paint this again too. So anyway, I highly recommend that. So, as my impatience is showing, I think I'm going to flip this over without giving it time to dry. So I can finish the top. If you are going to do that, just make sure the sides or nothing touches you or touches whatever you're putting on, which sometimes is hard to do if the piece is heavy, and this one is not very lightweight. You know, I'm actually kind of liking this the way it is. Yeah, I'm just sitting here debating on whether or not I want to put, I like how this is silver and it kind of fades into this brown. I'm going to stick with my original vision. Yeah, so here we go. Now, this particular can that I'm using right now was almost empty. Before I started, so this was not a full can. So literally, container as big as this, honestly, probably less than a half a can of paint. It's not getting any more coats down there. This is completely covered. I will try to give you a close-up of it here in a moment. I'm going to stop and shake this can up, okay? Okay, can is now shaken. A little spray across the top. Now, I think I did squeeze this on top of the thing. I did what I said don't do, which is start spraying. Sometimes I just lose track. But anyway, don't do what I just did. Start off and then come down. This is kind of a difficult angle, which I guess is where that any angle thing comes in good. I am painting the inside right now. I don't care if it runs on the inside. I just want there only to be the silver showing. Man, I love this. Okay, guys, I think we're done. I do not believe this is going to need another coat. Again, just keep moving as you're painting. Stay about 12 to 18 inches away from the container that you are painting. And those are about the best tips I can give. Every type of spray paint is a little bit different, so it's best to test it on a piece of cardboard or, you know, a piece of trash. Honestly, I've tested on soda cans because they are metal and they are very, very smooth, and you can really tell what something's going to do on something that's that very, very slick texture. But anyway, test before you put it on whatever it is that you're going to paint permanently. Now I am going to grab the camera. Okay, my fluorescent colored shirt is actually reflecting in this, and it's making it look like it has a green hue, which it does not. So let's see what we can do here. All right. I don't know about you, but I am absolutely loving this. Get over here in the sun a little bit and see if you can. Don't think I can illustrate it perfectly in this video, but I would love just to be able to see what a metallic look this container now has. I mean, it looks almost like pewter. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, and the other great thing about this, like I said before, is I don't tend to have that much problem with runs on the hammered paint. It seems to flatten and spread out very well on its own. But I can't wait to get my Canna Lily Cleopatra in this. I love the inside around the edges. It really looks very textured, metallic looking. I don't know, maybe you can see a little bit there. I've just got a little viewfinder to look through, guys, so I'm not sure. Till I get to the editing room, I won't know. All right. Okay, guys, so that concludes my how-to on spray painting. Don't make it any more complicated than it needs to be. Now, if you're doing something or you want a professional, quality-looking paint job, there are other YouTube videos out there that can help you with that. You know, it often requires some painting, some sanding, some repainting, some buffing, some clear coating, some buffing. I'm not painting a car. I'm not going to that degree. But if you just want to be able to spray paint something without having a bunch of runs or uneven paint, what's the word I'm looking for? An uneven coat on whatever it is that you're painting. Again, doing an overlap. So like if you make one paint strip, overlap it by half or more. Again, when you make another stroke with the paint can, and just keep going over and overlapping. If you do find yourself that you have because sometimes some things are really hard to spray paint and make it look perfectly even, you can, after it completely dries, go back and actually do it the opposite direction, perpendicular to the strokes that you made the first time, and that will often help even it out. One of the other big things to remember is do not put your second coat or your third coat on too quickly. If the paint is still tacky, still somewhat wet when you are painting over it the second time, that can also cause an uneven coat to happen, some bubbling up or running. And again, just don't start. And it's a hard habit to break, guys. I know you saw me even a few times. I caught myself doing it because I'm usually not taking that kind of time and pains with what I'm looking for. It just never start the paint directly at the surface. You're asking for uneven coats, and you're asking for runs. And once it starts running, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. At least in the pre-painting stages. I guess if you got it on there and you can wipe it off immediately, you might be able to. But again, there's videos out there on how to repair spray paint faux pas, I guess, and it's not quick. Okay, it's often very time consuming with, again, a lot more sanding, scuffing, buffing, all that kind of stuff that most of us just don't want to take the time to do. So, you know, the more I do this, the more I'm learning. Just take a deep breath, take your time, and do it right the first time. Now, one other tip I just recently learned myself was, if you are using cans of spray paint that are not any angle, okay, again, this doesn't apply to any angles, because no matter how you turn this, paint's going to come out. If you're using regular spray cans, when you are done and you're going to be storing these, turn the can upside down. I love this. Turn the can upside down, spray briefly, and when the paint that's in the hose will come out, and then you'll get a puff of air. When you get a puff of air, you stop. The lines inside the paint cans are cleared out, so when you store your paint, the lines will not be clogged up. And also clean off the nozzle. Here comes the train, guys. It's a good place to end this video for now. Thanks.